Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Guru Gauranga Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Radha Ramana Hari Bo Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bo Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bo Jai Jai Radha Saptah ki jai. Bhagavat Saptah Mahasabha ki jai. Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
It's okay, I think this. It's just working.
I don't think it.
Yeah.
Please.
It's okay.
Yes.
Bolo Bhagavad Mahapuran ki
Jai.
Om Agyan Timirandasya.
Are you good? Sure.
Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shlakaya Chakshuramritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guruve Gauri Chandraya Radhikaye Sadare Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Krishna Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopikant Radha Kant Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vrindai Tulasi Devi Priyai Keshavasacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srimad Bhagavatam Day 1. I'm very happy and pleased to be here, seeing wonderful devotees here in Austin, family, Gaudiya family. And starting from today, we are observing this festival. Srimad Bhagavat Saptah means 7 days of Srimad Bhagavat Katha, which is very popular. The system is very popular and famous throughout India and throughout the world. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Ruchika and Gaurav.
Hare
for
Krishna.
hosting me.
Coming and do this.
It's not that easy. Lot of work to do. They decorated this house so nicely. Invited me, invited all of you. It's a big responsibility. So I pray to Gurudev and Radha Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam to bless them and their kids with all prosperity and devotion. May they progress in their bhakti. And that's the only purpose we are here. To increase our bhakti, our levels of bhakti. Because every individual has their own recipient, the recipient of the mercy of the Lord. By conducting this kind of seminars, we get to hear so much. And it's not all about the knowledge, but also about how to use that knowledge. In terms of knowledge, even demons, they had so much knowledge. Ravan, he knew the Vedas. He was very fluent in reciting Vedas. Demon Hiranyakashipu was also familiar with the Shastra, scriptures. But demons, they are familiar with the knowledge of the scriptures, but they have no understanding of the in-depth of those verses, or I can say those knowledge. We are not here for information, although we're going to get information, but more is about transformation. Information which helps us to transform our style, our standard from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. This is all about Srimad Bhagavatam. Secondly, gratitude to all of you. You're going to come every day expecting. Because today weekend, tomorrow weekend. But from Monday onwards we're going to have in the evening. So let us all celebrate this occasion. It doesn't matter if we are here 30 or in India. I had 800 audience. Padmalochan just came, he was with me. And a massive crowd. So that doesn't matter. What matters is how much we are grasping this knowledge and applying this knowledge in our life to enhance our bhakti, to cultivate our bhakti, our standards, our levels, growing more and more and more. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? So Srimad Bhagavatam is not Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is different. If someone asks me what is the difference between Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a very simple answer. Bhagavad Gita is what Krishna spoke, and Srimad Bhagavatam is what Krishna does. Means the activities, means the pastimes of Krishna. These are, they are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please come forward, everyone. The Bhagavad Gita is composed of 700 verses which took place at Kurukshetra, the battlefield of Kurukshetra, very famous in the history. That's Bhagavad Gita. Whereas Srimad Bhagavatam took place on the bank of Ganges at Shukratal, very near to the capital Delhi. Very near. Almost like 3-hour drive on the way to Haridwar. Where on the bank of Ganga, the best king, Parikshit Maharaj, who got cursed that he is going to die after 7 days. And hearing this curse, so many sages who were meditating, they all just appeared on the scene and started giving advices. They started giving advices to Parikshit Maharaj because he wanted to know what is the best way to get deliverance. I'm just giving a little synopsis of what is Srimad Bhagavatam. So everyone gave their own advices according to their understanding. Charity is best. Austerity is best. Fire yajnas are best. Donations are best. But Parikshit Maharaj was not happy to hear. In the middle of all those sages, thousands of them, mentioned 80,000 sages, then appeared Sri Shukdev Goswami, and who gave the best advice. And that is hearing the topics of Krishna. Hearing the topics of Krishna is the best means to get deliverance. Nothing can be compared with that. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as the essence of all the scriptures. Nigam kaltarum galitam phalam shuk mukhar amrit dravya samitam pibat bhagavata rasmalayam muhuraha rasika bhuvi bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is composed of 700 verses and Srimad Bhagavatam 18,000 verses. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita how many minutes? 48 minutes. Not the entire 700 verses, because in those 700 verses there were verses spoken by, means a speech given by Dhritarashtra and many others. But only what Krishna spoke to Arjuna in that 48 minutes. That's Bhagavad Gita, which is a portion of great scripture called Mahabharata. But Srimad Bhagavatam is composed of 18,000 verses in 12 cantos. Cantos mean 12 books. And each and every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam resembles the limbs of Krishna. And I'm not saying this. There's evidence from the scriptures. But if we say, I don't believe in scriptures, who wrote those scriptures? That's another level of understanding. But to make it clear, those scriptures emanated from the lotus lips of Krishna himself. That means Vedas. How many Vedas are there?
4.
Before there was only one Veda. But an incarnation of Krishna, very learned, whose name was Ved Vyas. He divided one Veda into 4. Atharva Ved, Rig Ved, Sam Ved and Yajur Ved. 4 Vedas. Very famous. But it's so difficult to have access and understanding of the Vedas, because Vedas speaks something indirectly, not directly. Just like if I say, a beautiful boy always wears a peacock feather and carries flute in his hands and always wear yellow garments. Who's that boy?
Krishna.
Not Ram? No. Is Krishna? You sure? So instead of saying directly Krishna, Veda speaks like this, indirect. And that's why it's so difficult to understand what Vedas actually wanted to say. Because many get bewildered. Many get bewildered to hear or to understand the words of Vedas, the verses of Vedas. So the incarnation of Krishna, Ved Vyasji, to make those Vedas simple to understand, he later composed Puranas. And there are 18 Puranas. 6 in the mode of goodness, 6 in the mode of passion, and 6 in the mode of ignorance. Puranas are not in these modes of nature, but to facilitate those who are in these modes of nature, to uplift them from those mode of ignorance to passion and goodness, and finally to beyond the 3 modes of nature. Srila Vedvyas, he wrote 18 Puranas. And so many stories are there in Puranas that even by performing one small little activity or endeavor for pleasing Krishna, one get abundance of benefits, spiritual benefits, as well as material benefits. For example, my Srila Gurudev used to give an example. Once upon a time, there was a pigeon was looking for his prey, and a hunter came and he shot an arrow which pierced the pigeon, and he was almost about to die. With the force of that arrow, the pigeon fell right in front of the Lord, the deity, and the cat was there to grab that pigeon to eat. So to save his life from cat, still there was some breath, there was some life. The pigeon went around the deity and left his body right in front of deity Radha Krishna. So the pigeon died. But before he died, what he did? He did parikrama. He went around the deities. And he left body right in front of Radha Krishna, even though if the pigeon, being a bird, was not even familiar that this is Lordship, Shri Radha Krishna. Not even aware of that. But because of this activity of going around, as in India we say parikrama, because of that activity, great benefit, the next life, the pigeon became the king of one country. Material benefits. So not only material benefits, that king was very pious, and from very birth, he was very fond of performing devotional activities. So with knowingly, unknowingly, with good mood or not even a good mood, with devotion or without devotion, or as a formality, anyone who comes in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam or the discourses of Srimad Bhagavatam or any spiritual practice, accumulate what? Sukritis. Kriti means activity and Su means beautiful activities, means devotional activities. When heaps of such Sukritis comes together, that is the point one develops faith. Everything is all about faith, and everything is all about trust. Yeah. Suppose we're going flying out to Canada or India, we trust the pilot. We are not guaranteed. When we board a flight, is there any guarantee? What's going to happen? But we trust the airlines and we trust the pilot. And right in the beginning, after getting boarding pass, if I doubt, I have no faith in pilot, sir, then you please stay back and don't disturb the other passengers. No, first you prove me. The pilot can take me to my destination. How we can prove you? In any situation, we always assume a faith. And it's not only about assumptions, but this is proven. The scriptures, which are our law books, No matter which country we reside, we abide by the rules and regulations of the country. If I say I don't like the rules of America, then the country, the police will say, then please leave the country if you're not happy with the rules. I don't want to stop my car at the stop sign because that is not the standard in India. So I'm from India, I don't like to stop my car at the stop sign. What's going to happen then? Tickets one after the other? And if I totally get against the rules, what's going to happen? Jail, penalties, or go out. Go out from this country and live in the country where you don't have to stop. So we are bound by the rules of the country. What to speak of binding in the rules of the nature, this prakriti, this nature. We are bound. We are helpless. I don't want in Texas, especially in Texas, I don't want cold to come. I moved here because I thought it's a warm city, a warm state. But cold front comes. I don't like. So if you don't like, then just move around, go somewhere else. So we are also bound with the nature. I'm going to speak of that, on the top of that. We think we are controllers, we don't have control on our own senses and bodily needs. If I'm hungry, I need to eat. If I'm thirsty, I need to drink to quench my thirst. If I have to use the restroom, there's an urge, I have to run. I can't control. So even though we, as a composition of subtle body, because this is a gross body, as we are seeing each other, this is gross body, but there's other body which is called subtle body, and the composition of subtle body is body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. That's the composition of subtle body. So two bodies, gross body and subtle body together, is covering the soul. Understand? The composition of that subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. We can't see that. I can't see your mind. I can't see your intelligence. Whereas I can see the gross body. But we have no access to mind intelligence because it's very subtle in nature. Yes, true. And false ego means there is an ego, but that's very false. Because I assume, I believe I'm controller, but I have no control on my senses, I have no control on my mind, I have no control of anything. But I believe I'm controller. This is the basics and start of the philosophy. How to become and develop the mood from controller to the servant. Krishna, who is Supreme Lord, I'm not saying this, Bhagavad Gita claims this. Krishna is Supreme Lord, I'm not saying this, Bhagavatam claims this. Krishna is Supreme Lord, I'm not saying this, Brahma, the creator, is saying this. Shiva, the destructor, saying this. All scripture says this. So one may argue saying, oh, because you worship Krishna, that's why you say Krishna is Supreme Lord. Whereas this is not true. What is the fact? The fact is, because he is Supreme Lord, that's why we worship him. It's not that because we worship Krishna and we make our Lord the Supreme. No, because he's Supreme, that's why we're worshipping him. That's the fact. So, to understand this, this is a foundation of the philosophy. Why there's a need and why we have to hear the topics of Bhagavatam to transform the transition from being a controller which we are not, and to develop this mood that I am a servant of the Lord. Jeev Krishnadas e Vishwas Korle Dwar Dukha Nai. That's the only and only root cause of all sufferings, because I'm not accepting, we are not accepting the supremacy of the Lord, although I worship Him. But wait a minute, worshipping is different, and following His order, that's totally different section. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. The first and second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam resembles two lotus feet of Krishna. The third and fourth cantos of Bhagavatam are two thighs of Krishna. The fifth canto is the navel of Krishna. The sixth canto is the broad chest of Krishna. Seventh and eighth canto is two arms of Krishna. The ninth canto is the neck of Krishna. And the 10th canto is the beautiful, mild, smiling face of Krishna. 11th canto is the forehead and 12th is the head. So canto 1 to canto 12 is a complete transcendental body of Krishna from lotus feet to the head. And the most important part of the body, how we conclude? Oh, he's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. By looking at
The face.
face.
The face.
Yeah. Face are different. Arms, fingers, legs, all look similar. But faces are different. That's the essence. So the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam relies on 10th canto, which resembles the beautiful, smilingly face of Krishna. And in that 10th canto, the description of all the pastimes of Krishna. The 90 chapters, right from the birth of Krishna, and then how he took all his associates with him back to his abode, eternal abode, Shri Golok Vrindavan. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Clear? Means the pastimes of Krishna. What he did. Stealing butter. Is that appropriate for the Lord to do? Stealing is not a good activity. But he is very fond of stealing. Because actually he's not stealing butter. He's stealing the hearts. By performing notorious activities and attracting everyone towards him. Because he is the only and only source of attraction. And that's why his name is Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. Not only by his name, but not only by his form, but also by his pastimes. Qualities and pastimes. So complete package. Name is so beautiful, form is so beautiful, best in qualities, and one who perform endless activities which are termed as pastimes. That is Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna took his index finger and put on his chest and he claims, Aham sarvasva prabhu, matta sarvam pravartate. Iti matta vajante va buddha va samanvita. I cannot challenge Krishna. Why are you saying this? I cannot even challenge a mayor or the president of the country. What to speak of challenging the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of not only one universe, but the creator of that personality, who is the creator of the universe? Brahma. Krishna created Brahma. Krishna is one who creates so many million and billion and trillion and infinite universes. How can I challenge a personality like him? So he claims in Bhagavad Gita, I am the Lord of everyone. Everything emanates from me. And he's not only saying this, he's also showing this. If he showed his universal form. In that universal form, what he showed? All demigods, they are in me. They all emanate from me. All these universes emanate from me. And I am the source of everyone. This is called not false ego, this is called true ego, because this is what he possesses. It's true ego. And Bhagavatam, Krishna says, in Bhagavatam it claims, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, and all others are incarnations of Krishna. The creator Brahma, you want to sit on chair? Please go ahead. Brahma, the creator, he says this. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidanand Vigraha Anadir Adir Govind Sarva Karanam Karanam. There are many Ishvars. Like Ram is Ishwar, Narsingha is Ishwar, Vara is Ishwar, Vaman is Ishwar. There are many. But who is the Param Ishwar, the Supreme? These are incarnations. But who is the source of incarnations? Now, when we are in India, mostly Indians, they believe in television. And those serials made by those directors were making this for money. Okay. From childhood, we used to see this movies. Anna? Here we see, all incarnations, they are emanating from Vishnu. Right? And Ram and Krishna is also one of them. This was the impression we had from childhood. We are hearing the stories, and everyone believed the television and the movies. Yes, true. But nobody ever taught us what is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Because there is no inclination, there is no studies in school and universities. But when we read the law books, which is Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read the scriptures, and I'm saying again, it's not written by any human being. Those scriptures written by incarnation of Lord Himself. He Himself wrote those scriptures, the law books, where we see so deep philosophy and in-depth philosophy and so vast philosophy, which is attracting everyone in the entire universe at present day. All intellectual class, scientists from NASA, all engineers. So we can say one person is foolish, but we can't claim that 100 and million are foolish. And that too, those are intellectuals. Because just by assumption, we can't prove, unless we read or we hear or we get to know the proper and clear understanding. And because of that, so many people, when they come across this knowledge, they got to know so much about spirituality. This is spiritual knowledge. I can say material knowledge has so much information. Google has so much information. But this material world is 1/4 opulence of the Lord, whereas spiritual world is 3/4. Can you imagine? There is so much to know in this material world itself, which is only 1/4. And spiritual world is 3/4. How much information is present in that 3/4 opulence of the Lord? How much? All that information is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. written by Vedvyas, spoken by Shukdev Goswami, and heard by Parikshit Maharaj with 80,000 sages on the bank of Ganga. This is some little details of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us start with the first canto, which itself is so vast, it will take 7 days. Yeah. This is a place called Naimisharanya, very near to Delhi, where 88,000 sages headed by Shaunak were performing yajnas. And yajnas were being performed for thousands of years with only one intent, to have darshan, to see the Lord. But it was so failure, and they were so tired doing this every day, starting from morning sunrise until sunset. And then they found a very learned and blessed soul. I'm speaking very general terms because when we are in India, then we go in a very high level. But because I want to make everyone understand, so I'm going very simple language. So blessed, Sut Goswami. You might not be familiar with the names. So these personalities looks like they're human beings, but they're not human beings. Human beings are those who are in jurisdiction of the material energy. Or in other words, they are in the mode of either goodness, passion and ignorance. These are 3 modes of nature which we go through every single day. Sometimes we are in a good mode of goodness, like early morning. Everything is so quiet and peaceful, mind is so fresh, one feel like doing some spiritual activities, meditation, etc. And then comes a mode of passion. Yes, I have to rush to the office, this and that, phone calls. And then after sunset, tired and retire of the day. Then go in deep sleep. That is in the mode of ignorance. When one is not even aware of what I am doing. Deep sleep, this ignorance. These 3 modes of nature. This is called Prakriti, this is called nature. So these personalities who wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, who spoke Bhagavatam, the sages, they are not ordinary human beings. Because they are not in these 3 modes of nature, they are beyond 3 modes of nature. And that's where they are situated in the spiritual world. Spiritual world. So once upon a time, one student asked me this question, because I go sometimes school and university. He said, wait a minute. All these sages, they are human beings, right? But Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, they are Bhagavan, they are Lord. So how we can understand their special personalities? So I gave, that was in India, so I gave the example referring to India. They said, those criminals who perform crime, when they get arrested, where are they being kept? At the president house or prison house? He said, very simple, prison house. Why? Because they have done crime. And now they are in prison house for some years, for some number of years, depends on person to person. So in India, we have jailer. Jailer means? क्या बोलते हैं jailer को? यहाँ क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में? Jailer?
The
Are you also
ward?
jailer?
Mhm.
That's easy to say that.
Say the ward, the prison ward.
Jailer. So if someone asks the jailer, where do you live? Well, I'm in jail. But is he also living like all those prisoners in the jail? His apartment is in jail, but he get all facilities from the government to rule over those prisoners. But he's not there bound by behind the bars. The movements are not checked. He's there to rule them, to correct them, to chastise them.
The warden.
Huh?
The warden.
A warden.
Not jailer.
Warden.
Yeah.
Understand? So warden also stay in the jail, but is he staying like a prisoner? No. Similarly, this world is like a jail, and we are here to. Why we are here? Why we are here?
To transform into a higher state of consciousness, because Krishna wants us to be with
But
him.
why we are here?
Because we
This
took
is
away
this
from
is a
it.
jail.
Our appetite.
Punished. Being
Material
punished.
appetite.
This is a jail. We are also shackled with 3 different shackles made of iron, silver, and gold. That means ignorance, passion, and goodness. The entire universe, 14 planets. 14 planets. This is one planet, Earth. There's 7 above and 6 below. 14 planets make one universe. And everyone in this 14 planetary system is locked. This is known as Durga. And one who controls this is Durga, the material energy. Durga. This is called Durga.
She's the warden.
She's the warden. Exactly. That's why her name is Durga. So this is jail. And we are coming again and again from our previous activities, impressions, to get reward or to get punished. And this process going on from time immemorial. How many years? How many births? Uncountable. Uncountable. But the warden also stay in the jail. So all these personalities whom I am referring to, all our acharyas, all our gurudevs, they are not here like us to get punished for our activities or for our impressions from previous lives. They are sent by Lord from His abode, spiritual abode, to here this material world to uplift us, to reward or to punish us, to correct us, so that we can uplift our consciousness, as He said. To uplift our consciousness. The whole idea of spirituality is to uplifting the consciousness. From animal consciousness to human consciousness, and from human consciousness to spiritual consciousness. They are not ordinary human beings, even though they appear like ordinary human beings. Suppose if Ram appeared in front of us, or Krishna appeared, so what kind of form they have? Some different form? Not human like us? Of course they are. Even Bible claims God made man out of His own image. Bible, Jesus claims this. We are not descendant of Darwin. Theory. Our ancestors were monkey. He said this. And later many other scientists disproved his theory, refute his theory, and they brought up something else. So this is different kind of scientists. With their understanding they produce this. We believe in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not written some years back or thousands years back. which is from time immemorial. There is no any accountability of how many years back Srimad Bhagavatam was being written. As Krishna's Ananta means endless, Srimad Bhagavatam is also endless, because no difference between Bhagavatam and Krishna. If you read, then you will understand. If you hear, then you understand. And if you develop a taste, then one understand and relish more and more. And endless topics. That's why these personalities are not ordinary human beings like us. I can say about my Gurudev, who's just right there in the altar. I never saw him sleeping. So how can I claim he's a human being? He didn't eat for 21 days. If he's a human being, he could have started shouting or starving, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. A personality who can't eat. A personality who's refraining himself from eating for 21 days. One who's not sleeping. I'm the witness because I was serving him. Any part of day and night. Not sleeping at all. So these personalities are divine because they are beyond three modes of nature. Always remember this formula. And we are in three modes of nature. Even though our appearance looks like same. Oh, he also have 2 eyes, 2 hands. We are also same. So Krishna is also like this then. He also have 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 feet. Then he is also a human being by his God. And that's why we address this personality as godly person. Because of their absorption and their sacrifices and their renunciations and their absorptions always, and their motive and intent is always promoting their Lord Krishna and the teachings of Krishna. That's why we call them as godly personalities. They are not in the jurisdiction of 3 modes of material nature. They are in the jurisdiction of spiritual nature, which is full of bliss, happiness. In material nature is full of lamentation, sorrows, miseries, sadness, disease, old age and death. These elements not present in spiritual world. There is no sorrow, there is no misery, there is no death, there is no old age and there is no disease. No? Good country to go. They don't even know what is the meaning of being sad. They don't even know the definition of being death. What is death? Which is horrible, right? They have no idea. You can't even define. Suppose a billionaire or trillionaire, if you ask that person, sir, can you describe what is called starvation? He said, well, I don't know. He has so much wealth. He can't define that because he has no experience of this. So these personalities, their body itself made of. There's one thing which is called tadatme. That's a Hindi word. Tadatme means oneness. So try to understand with this example. Let's say iron bar. If we keep that iron bar in fire for 10 hours, what happens with that iron bar? Those qualities of fire means the iron bar also develop the same quality as fire because of being in fire for so many hours. That's called oneness, tadatme. So that iron bar, if we take that iron bar, can also burn, means all those activities which fire can do. Heat, light, everything. This is called oneness. So these personalities, Sutta Goswami, Shukdev Goswami, all our acharyas, they are tadatme with the Lord, oneness with the Lord, because of their absorptions all the time in their spiritual world, even though we see they look like us and they are in material world. But where their absorption is, that matters. It is the absorption that matters, not your physical presence. Anyone at their workplace, say any father working for his family. Father don't like the company. He is not in love with the company, but he is in love with his family. And that's why even though he's doing so much work, hard time in his company and in his office, but what is his intent behind doing all such hard labor? Making my family happy. Because he loves his family. He don't love his company. That's only formality. Yes? But he loves his family. And because to make his family happy, he does everything. Or she does everything. Yes? To make family happy, that's the only purpose. Similarly, all these acharyas, these preachers, only to serve the instructions of their Lord and to make everyone aware in the entire world why you are suffering in this world without any understanding of spiritual life or lack of knowledge of spiritual world. They go around, take all pains and make everyone aware. Get up, get up, get up. The life is so short. Days and nights are passing so fast. Years are passing by so fast. I was the same person when I was a teenager, and today I'm turning old. How the life went so fast. And there's not much time left. Another 20, 30, 40 years and that's all, finish. I'm not immortal. It's true. So they are tadatmya, oneness with the instruction of the Lord, with the absorption of the Lord, and they take all the pains to behave or to show off to us that we are not divine, we are ordinary human beings like you. That's why you can relate with us. Understand the gravity of their nature. Just to make us understand the glories of the spiritual world, they start behaving like us. Otherwise, we will just treat them, oh, you're divine, you're divine. We can't relate with them. So they assume, they show off like human beings. So Sut Goswami, when he was invited by those 88,000 sages, they all had some questions. They asked 6 questions to him, and Sut Goswami, he gave answers to them. That answers to the 6 questions is all entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Just 6 questions. And imagine 18,000 verses. Such a big lecture, huh? Such a big lecture. So from whom Sut Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam? These are details. From Shukdev. What is Shuk? We have Shuk there. Right near the stage. Parrot. Shukdev. And who is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? Parikshit, the great king Parikshit, the descendants of Pandavas. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. The battle of Mahabharata took place for 18 days. And terrible effect. So many people died. I'm not going to details why the battle took place and just another area. And the cause of that battle was, who was the cause?
So pretty, too pretty.
The Kaurava didn't want to give the Pandavas any land.
Who was stubborn to have this battle? Duryodhana. Everything happened because of him. He wanted to have this battle because he wants to rule over all the territory Hastinapur. Whereas this belongs to the Pandavas. Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. And his father Dhritarashtra, the blind, so attached to his son, who knew my son has very bad and cruel intentions. But he was so attached to that throne, we don't want to give him that. So Duryodhana, he wanted to have this battle, but Pandavas, being very sober in nature, they didn't want this battle. They didn't want this at all. Understand? So Krishna came as a messenger of peace to Duryodhana. Duryodhana, believe my words, Pandavas, they don't want this battle. And your brothers, why are you fighting? I'm a messenger of peace. Okay, you take care of this throne. But on behalf of Pandavas, I'm only asking 5 villages. That's all I'm asking. Believe my words, they're not going to object if you just give 5 villages to them. Duryodhana said, what to speak of 5 villages? I will not even give you what?
Piece of time.
Enough space that even a pin can make. Like not even that much space.
Even not that much space, where the pin can fit.
Yeah.
Krishna said, then I can't avoid this battle, and Duryodhana, you have to go through consequence. And Duryodhana shouted, yelled at Bhagavan, how dare you speaking like this? You don't know I'm prince. And you are just a cowherd boy. What do you know about Kshatriyas? The nature of Kshatriyas. And I will bind you right away if you don't go away from here. Everyone became so shocked. What Duryodhana is saying? He's saying this to Krishna. His superiors were so embarrassed. But they were quiet. They were not able to say anything. Because Duryodhana was so cruel. Krishna said, oh, you're going to bind me. Okay, go ahead. And Duryodhana ordered his guards, go and arrest this cowherd boy, this Govala. And Krishna showed his universal form. So much effulgence was emanating from his transcendental body. So many times people say, I want to see God. I want to see God. Why is not appearing? But do you know the nature of his transcendental body, the effulgence which emanates from his body is compared to as million of suns. Just go out at 12 o'clock and try to see sun for a minute. Without any glass, without any lens. Can you see 1 minute? What's your name? Huh? Devaki? Devaki, can you see sun for a minute? 12 o'clock? Try one day. 30 seconds? Maybe. No? 5 seconds? Not even that? You can't see one sun, and its effulgence is million of suns. It's that bright and effulgent. Understand? Then another question comes, I don't believe in anything which I can't see. That's a very common question. No, I don't believe something which I can't see. A very simple logic. Can you see what's happening in the room? What kids are doing in the playroom? That doesn't mean they don't exist. And the toys don't exist. But you can't see, penetrate through the window or door or wall, it doesn't mean that thing don't exist. You know, like we say, we can see fan, we can see lights. Yes? Yes, that they exist. But how they are running? Just by their own? Or they are running through electricity? But can you see electricity? Yes? You can see cable. But you can't see electricity, right? That doesn't mean electricity doesn't exist. Yes? Electricity exists, that's why we see the fan and light and all devices working out. So there are many logics. This is just simple logics. But if I start speaking from scriptures, there's so many proofs to prove this. But we are not here for the proofs. Because that's a debate section. We are here to taste. How you make that rice? Why you put water? And why you put this much water? Why you add spices? If I start arguing on that, I can't taste. The best is, rice is just there, you taste. And feel satisfied. But there are logics. If we start arguments or debates, there are many logics to prove. But we are not. I'm not here for that reason, at least at this time. Maybe later. Maybe later. So who knows Srimad Bhagavatam was present in previous ages? What are the proofs? The verses which are present in Srimad Bhagavatam is a proof. Just like very simple example. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna appeared at which age? Dwapar and Lord Ram. So Krishna appeared in Dwapar, right? But we all know one mantra. Everyone knows in India. Also here, devotee section. Om Namo Bhagavate. Complete. Om Namo Bhagavate. Who's Vasudev?
Krishna.
But this mantra was given in Satyuga. And Krishna appeared in which yuga? Can you spell how many yugas are there? Kumari? Come on.
Like the 4 yugas or the okay, 4.
4.
Yeah.
Name them.
Satya, Dwarpa, Treta.
Wrong. Sequence.
Satya, Treta, Dwarpa, Kali.
Okay. Who appeared in Treta?
Ram, Lord Ram.
Who appeared in Dwapar?
Krishna.
Okay, so that means Dwapar is third in number, right? If we in the sequence. But in Satyuga, the mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. And how Vasudeva is present in Satyuga? What is the answer?
The question, why? How is Krishna in Satyuga?
Yes?
If he only appears in
In Dwapar.
Well, he appears wherever he is in his name. He's appeared. So if his name, if his holy name is there, then it's.
Krishna appeared in Dwapar. That doesn't mean he was not existing before. He's from time immemorial. You think Krishna appeared and then he died? And that means he's not present in any other yuga. He's not present in Kali Yuga.
Yes.
He's just present in any picture. He's present in any picture. He's present in any deity. He's present in everyone's heart.
The holy Dham.
Everywhere. He's Sarvagya. He's omniscience, present everywhere. Every speck of dust. So, Duryodhana was trying to bind Krishna, and Krishna showed his universal form, and they became so, they can't even see the Krishna. He was so much bright. Yes. What to speak of this? If we have halogens here, right in front of our eyes, we can't see. We can't see you. What about seeing the sun? And the effulgence from the body of Krishna is compared to billion and trillions of suns. So everyone they just closed their eyes, but only 2 personalities was able to see Krishna here. What are those 2 personalities?
The Prime Minister.
I'll give double prasadam.
Vidura, the Prime Minister.
Only 2 personalities in that assembly were able to see Krishna, whereas everyone just closed their eyes.
Bhishma.
Krishna.
And the Prime Minister.
Who's the Prime Minister?
Vidur.
Oh, double prasadam. She's very intelligent. Bhishma and Vidur, because they are devotees of Krishna. How can they see? And rest, they were not able to see. Because their eyes are ointed with very special kajal. You know, all these ladies have kajal, right? The eyes of the pure devotees are ointed with a special kajal, not this liner kajal. What is that kajal? Premanjan churitam bhakta vilochanena santa sadev hidesha vilokayanti yam shama sundar achinta gun sarupam govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. Brahma is saying, the pure devotees, their eyes are pointed with the kajal of prem, love, the love of God. And because of that, they can see, they can perceive all the activities of Krishna and even Krishna himself. They can see that. So all, Duryodhana and rest, they were not able to see Krishna. Bhishma is a pure devotee and Vidur is a pure devotee. They were able to see Krishna. So Krishna came back and Duryodhana was very ferocious. What happened today? Krishna said, now battle is going to happen. Final. And one day, Duryodhana and Arjun, they both came to Krishna. They both. Arjun came for Duryodhana. Duryodhana came and Duryodhana was sitting next to the head of Krishna and Arjun on the feet of Krishna. Krishna was sleeping and when he opened his eyes, he saw Arjun. Oh, Arjun. Duryodhana said, I came first. Oh, but I didn't saw you because you're on my head. When you open your eyes, where are you going to see first? Towards your feet. He said, okay, so battle is going to happen now, but I'm taking a vow today. I'm not going to hold any weapon in this battlefield. No weapons. So, I'm giving a choice. Duryodhana, 18 million soldiers equipped with all fancy weapons. That's my army. And other side, I'm alone without any weapons. Arjun, what do you like to have? What is your choice? Duryodhana said, I came before, so I should get the priority. Okay, Duryodhana, go ahead. And Arjun's heartbeat going hard. I don't know what Duryodhana is going to ask.
Showing pictures that match.
So Duryodhana, he said, he thought for a while, he said, what I'm going to do with Krishna? He said he's not going to hold any weapon. And instead I have to feed him then. I have to worship him. He said, I want your army. 18 million soldiers, imagine. Krishna said, okay, my army is yours. Arjuna said, I only want you without any weapon. Duryodhana became so happy, he came back dancing and told his uncle, who's very crooked, his name was Shakuni. Said, Uncle, I won the battle. He said, how come? Battle not even started yet. He said, because Krishna has given me his army with all horses, elephants, and all those fancy weapons. Shakuni said, wait a minute, what was the deal about? He said, he just claimed, I'll be alone without any weapon and my army with weapons, what you want? So uncle, I acted intelligently and I took the army instead of Krishna. He said, you are foolish, I won. You're foolish. Even Shakuni condemned his decision. You're foolish. Why you didn't took Krishna? He said, but he said he's not going to hold any weapon. He's not going to use any weapon. What I have to do with him? Whereas arms of some use. Shakuni said, you're foolish. You're stupid. You're crazy. Krishna being alone is enough. When he smiles, when he moves his eyebrows, even demigods start shaking. You don't know, it's so tricky. So even Shakuni knows, but he don't believe in Krishna. That is the difference between a demon and a devotee. The Vedas in his lifestyle. That's the difference. Devotees, they read Vedas, but they adopt those Vedas, injunctions and instructions in their life. That's the difference. Duryodhana knows the glories of Krishna, but he don't believe that. That's the big problem. I believe in God. No, I believe in God, but I don't want to follow God. Shakuni, very tricky person. Everything happened because of him also. He knows the glories of Krishna, but he don't believe. And only want to use Krishna for his own selfish motives. He said, Duryodhana, you are foolish. But now it's done. Whereas Arjuna came with Krishna to his brothers, 5 Pandavas, and they praised the decision of Arjuna. Yes, well done. Krishna's ours. So in this way, big battle, million of soldiers got killed in this battle. Brothers of Duryodhana, 99 brothers got killed. Only Duryodhana left alone. And Bhishma, he took his club and hit on the thigh of Duryodhana. Now he was helpless, about to leave his body dying. At that moment, Ashwatthama came. Ashwatthama is the son of Guru Dronacharya. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
He said, friend Duryodhana, you never made me commander-in-chief of the army, and that's why you're going through these reactions. If you would have made me the commander-in-chief, I could have shown you battle, I would have won the battle, and you will be the king of the whole Hastinapur. So, even though the battle is over and you got defeated, still we have a chance. Make me commander-in-chief. Duryodhana, he recalled all those tricks he applied for the Pandavas. They played a dice game where Pandavas got defeated, and the promise was they have to spend 12 years in forest in exile and 1 year in disguise. 12 years in exile and 1 year in disguise. And in that 1 year in disguise, if they get recognized, they have to again go through 12-year exile. That was a deal before the dice came, and they got defeated. So Duryodhana was so happy. Yes, Pandavas have to go 12 years in exile and 1 year in disguise. Somehow they spent 12 years moving around all territory in India. And wherever they went, throughout the India, all those states and cities and villages and towns became purified because of their presence. All those. But 1 year disguise was so difficult. It was so difficult. And all of them, the Pandavas, the family, they went to one king. First of all, the elder son, the elder brother, Yudhishthir Maharaj, approached the king. He said, "Oh, king, can you give me some employment in your kingdom? What you know?" He said, I'm expert in playing dice game." King said, "Okay, I give you employment. You have to play dice game with me, and I'll give you salary." So they came in this kingdom to hide themselves, because Duryodhana was moving around to check on them. Understand the scene?
Mm-hmm.
Then the Bhim came, tall, huge figure. He said, "King, I'm looking for some job, some employment. Can you give me some work?" He said, "What do you know?" "I know how to cook." Because he also know how to eat. He needs, every hour he needs something to eat. Vakra Agni means he has so much fire. He always used to eat so much. He said, I'm a good cook." King said, "Okay, my kitchen, you cook there." Imagine these great personalities and how they are like serving an ordinary king. Because they want to hide. Then Arjun came as Brindalla, means imposter. Because Arjun got cursed by
A heavenly damsel.
Heavenly damsel. And who's that? Urvashi.
Urvashi.
Arjun, so many stories, one after the other. Arjun went to Swargaloka, the place of demigods. And Arjun is the son of Indra. You know? Arjun is son of Indra? Yes? How come?
Because Kunti, the Queen Kunti, had a boom. She had a boom.
Queen Kunti, she got this boon. She can invoke any demigods and can have son from them. So she wanted to just try. She invoked Indra, the king of demigods, and Indra gave one son to Kunti. And that's Arjun. Understand? So when Arjun went to heaven, Swargaloka, his father Indra was busy seeing the dance of heavenly dancers there. Urvashi, especially Urvashi, very beautiful. She got attracted to see Arjun. She got attracted. So she approached Arjun, saying that, "I want you to marry me." Arjun said, "Mother, what are you saying?" She said, "How dare you address me as mother? I'm proposing you, and you're addressing me as mother." He said, "Of course, because you pleasing my father Indra in this assembly, you dancing for him, he's my father, and in that relation you are my mother." She said, "I curse you! You speak like an imposter, a unique person. May you become imposter." That curse on Arjun was a benediction because he became unique. So he also came in a very dancing posture to the king. You see, unique person? Their movements of their eyes and hands and feet, they always dancing posture. Arjun came there and said, "King, can I also get some work?" He said, "What do you know?" "I know how to dance." "Okay, you train my daughter, Uttara." mother of Parikshit Maharaj. Go and train my daughter, Uttara. So Arjun started teaching to Uttara. Then Nakul came, the fourth one. He said, I also want some job. King's thought, I've not opened an employment office here. Everyone is coming for a job. What's wrong? He said, but I'm very merciful. Whoever comes, I'm going to employ everyone. So Nakul came and said, can I get some work? What you know? He said, I'm very expert in, just by seeing the horse, I can tell how efficient is the horse and how far the horse can run, just by seeing the horse. So King said, okay, you go to my stable. Then Sahadev came. I'm very expert in looking after cows. He said, okay, you go to my Gaushala. They all got, and then Draupadi came. She said, oh my king, can I also have some work? He said, who are you? She said, some name. So what do you know? I'm very expert in arranging hairs, different hairstyles. The queen said, I will take this. I will take her as my maid servant. She's going to arrange my hairstyles every day, different hairstyles to please my king. In this way, all the Pandavas and Draupadi, they got spread out in performing menial services to the king because they want to hide themselves. Meanwhile, the Kauravas, when he was about to ride on the chariot, Arjun said, because Arjun knew to whom he's going to fight with, Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna, he will run away from there. Arjun knew this. So Arjun sat on the chariot and said, King, or Prince, Uttar, I'm going to drive this chariot for you. I said, hey, you're an imposter. You go and dance. Don't come in between Kshatriyas. Arjun took it lightly. He said, don't worry. I'm also expert in riding chariots. So don't worry. Believe me, you're going to get benefit. So Arjun spoke so great words. Prince Uttar said, okay then. Arjun started driving chariot. And the prince was shocked that, oh, he's also so expert in driving. When they appeared on the battlefield, Prince Uttar saw, oh my goodness, Bhishma. He started shaking. Dronacharya, sweating. Karna, tears. All Sattvic gloves. He showed his back. He said, Arjun. No, not Arjun. He said, hey, let's go back. I can't fight. I can't fight. And Arjun said, you're a coward. Stay there and fight with them. No, I can't. Bhishma. I can't. Arjun said, then you sit here and I'll fight. He said, come on. You can't. Can't you see they are so expert in art of fight? Arjun said, don't worry. Give me a bow and arrow. He said, I can't take a chance. I'm running away from here. Arjun said, I'll bind you. Arjun bind him on a chariot and took his bow and arrow and started fighting with every warrior there. One on one. He defeated Bhishma. He defeated Dronacharya. He defeated Kripacharya. He defeated Karna, everyone. And they were all shocked. Who is this person? Because only Arjun is the one who can defeat all of us. No one else in the entire universe. Who is he? Only Arjun. Yes, Arjun? They doubt this person is Arjun. And then Duryodhana said, yes, he's Arjun. And
I caught him.
I caught him before 1 year passed. So now they have to go again exile for 12 years. He's Arjun. And the Prince Uttar said, oh, you're Arjun? And I was treating you so badly. And you're teaching dance to my sister. And you all are Pandavas. Oh my goodness. What we are doing to you? We have to worship you. Arjuna said, keep quiet. And Duryodhana was so happy. They have to go again exile. But Arjuna said, no. The 1 year of disguise just ended yesterday. And they all proved this. You know? In this way, Arjuna came back to the kingdom, winning over the Kauravas. And the king of that territory became so ashamed. He said, my goodness, you all are Pandavas, and we're treating you as servants. You take care of this kingdom. This, we don't want this. You save your kingdom, we give you charity. Duryodhana recalled all those incidents when he was already won. Okay. I think we should continue tomorrow.
Oh.
I know. Because so many things to say. That's what I said. Srimad Bhagavatam, we can't complete in 7 days. I think I have to stay 7 years in Austin.
Yay!
Haribol.
Okay, 5 more minutes.
Huh?
5 more minutes.
Okay, even 7 months will work. But I must tell you, Srimad Bhagavatam is such vast knowledge. If I start speaking with limited capacity of understanding and knowledge, I'm not very expert. My acharyas, they are very expert, but I guarantee can't finish in 7 years. And my Buddha said, not even 7 words. It is so advanced. And many people who don't know the importance, they take it very lightly. Whereas this is not something which is light. It's very heavy. In nature, in nature means, this is surcharged spiritual energies. That temple, that house, where Srimad Bhagavatam has been read, or worshipped, or kept, or spoken, immediately get purified. Immediately. It is mentioned in the Puranas. What to speak of persons who are hearing this? Even the insects of that house immediately get purified. Immediately. Sometimes when we hear these statements, we think this is too much to say. Believe me, because we are understanding from our conceptions and our limited capacities, but the authorities on Srimad Bhagavatam, they've proven this. And the evidence is the transformation of so many people, hippies to happies, which was being done in 1965 by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who came from India and who transformed the entire world. From hippies to what? They were totally engrossed in drugs, illicit activities, and like naked on the streets. Hippie culture was so prominent in America in those days. Even now, some territories still have that. But Srila Prabhupada, when he came to America, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. You see the gravity of this? He changed the entire world. Not the Western world, but also the Eastern world. I'm speaking about India. India is considered, which is true, very pious country. Is called Tapobhumi. That's from the scriptures. India is very prominent. All the holy rivers, where you find?
India.
In Houston? In New York? In Seattle? Hawaii? Not at all. In Europe, Switzerland? All holy rivers in India. all the tirthas and the dhams in Africa, Brazil, Latin America, all in India. All the incarnations took place all in India. All the holy saints, sages, born in India. So Bharat. I gave a speech one time on this. What is the meaning of Bharat? Long speech, but short. India is known as Tapobhumi, and all the rest of the world is known as Bhogabhumi, only for sense gratification. Earn money, sense gratification. But India, Bharat Bhumi te janam hoy jahar, जीवन सार्थक करी करो परोपकार. That's the Shastra, scriptures. Anyone who has taken birth in the holy land Bharat, means India, is their responsibility to make their life successful by making others' life also successful. Or to make a success by making others successful means make them Krishna consciousness, make them devotees. So great personality, Srila Prabhupada, who we can see in the corner there, left, down, and totally extreme left. Srila Prabhupada. He is the one who came to Western world and he made everyone familiar with the Indian culture, which is so pure and pious in nature, spiritual in nature. And when I say Indian culture, means introducing Srimad Bhagavatam. And because of his lectures on Srimad Bhagavatam, can you imagine those who are drug addicts, those who are lying in the streets naked, just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, how can you change your addiction? How can you change? The purity of his words and Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not different from Krishna. So there is some science also involved in that. How the Lord, which is already present in our heart, but He is present in our heart as Paramatma. Paramatma means four-handed form of the Lord, and the size is also mentioned in the scripture, the size of a thumb. This size, Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. But that Paramatma is only witness of our activities. He is not playing around like Krishna, stealing butter, dancing with the gopis, etc. He is only there for one specific task, just to be witness of the activities. That's Paramatma. But, what I was saying before this?
The Srimad Bhagavatam heals just by having it in the house. It heals. Oh yeah, Bharat. The Bharat speech.
There was one point coming in mind. I just skipped that. Anyway, the Paramatma in everyone's heart. I was saying how the transformation took place, how Krishna enters in the heart. This point, very important to know. How Bhagavan can enter in our heart? Through ears. How is possible? Small hole. Small hole. Because of his subtle in nature, subtle in form. Can air enters in our hole or not? Air is very light and subtle in nature. That's why we can't see our mind, we can't see our intelligence, because it's subtle in nature, it's not gross in nature. Krishna is so subtle. Soul is so subtle, but to speak of Krishna, the size of soul is described as the 10,000 part, the portion of the tip of the hair, not the complete hair. Just the tip point of hair being cut into 10,000 pieces is the size of the soul, which is so subtle When one dies, the soul just go out from any hole. From eyes, from nose, from ears. From any hole. The soul goes out. Subtle. If the soul is so that subtle, imagine how the super soul, means Bhagavan, is so subtle. What is the benefit of benediction when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam or any discourses, even about Bhagavad Gita? What is the benediction? Krishna enters in the heart through ears. Understand? Through the ears. And who's putting the Krishna in the heart? A sadhu. A godly person. Where he speaks the topics of Krishna and with the intent only to serve Krishna, not to attain any money or adoration, with the pure intentions, Krishna enters in the heart through ears. So as much as we can grasp that Krishna, which is infinite, Ananta, as much as we are hearing, we are grasping that Krishna that much in our heart. Srimad Bhagavatam advises us of Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya, serving Srimad Bhagavatam every day. How to serve Srimad Bhagavatam every day? Like if you Radha Krishna and Gopalji at home, how are you serving them? By worship? Or just doing some offerings? If you have Tulsi plant at home, how are you going to serve Tulsi plant? By watering Tulsi plant? So all these are considered as divine. How are you going to worship Ganga? By offering some flowers or water in Ganga or sweets in Ganga? Similarly, how to worship Bhagavatam? This great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, is served by reading. By reading. If we read one verse every day, there are 18,000 verses. Or we can say there are 345 chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read one chapter every day, you can complete in 1 year with some break of 15 to 20 days also, vacations. But it's difficult, I know, time barriers. But one verse, if we read, just for my understanding, even if that is considered very auspicious activities to purify my family and my home, my house. Believe me, this is true. Srimad Bhagavatam purifies. And we see how entire world, every corner, even China, Russia, we have devotees because of Srimad Bhagavatam. The speeches and the lectures of Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by a pure devotee. You see the transformation. How we all were transformed. Any familiar with Krishna consciousness or Bhakti, Achyuta Prabhu, before? From birth? No. Even we as Indians, religious, pious, but not like dedicated, because there's so many streams to follow. One sadhu saying follow this, other saying follow this, and TV, movies saying follow this, television saying follow this. But what is the bona fide way? I'm being born and raised in that family where they used to serve deities at home very strictly. Pure vegetarian family, no drinking alcohol, no smoking, no meat eating, nothing. From generations in that family. But still, many streams to follow. Worship this, do this, do that, do that. That's a trend. But when we come to hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then we get a clear understanding what process we have to follow. Everything is a process. Even cooking is a process. Even driving is a process. Even eating is a process. Everything is a process. Why not bhakti, devotional life, also the process. It's not just out of mind. My mind says this, my mind says this. Well, my mind is not my authority. It's not the authority. Authority is the law books. What they say, that's 100% correct. Because they emanated from the lips of the Lord. They're not created by any ordinary human being. So try to read one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam every day at home to give benefits to the family members and to purify the entire house. And what to speak of house, we are going to have 7 days Srimad Bhagavatam with a very, very special mercy or invitation by this beautiful family here, inviting all of us. Again, thanking them to hosting this wonderful program. This is my home. I'm not a guest here. This is my home.
But still, even our family was feeling so blessed that nobody had this opportunity of having Bhagavatam at their place. So we're feeling blessed. Thank you so very much for accepting and coming stay with us and doing this for us.
Generally, the session takes place 3 to 4 hours, but I know the capacity of everyone here.
And you're just saying us, it's because of everybody's efforts that we are able to do it.
And it's also because of the presence of everyone.
Right, so true.
It makes a great event.
Yeah. Thank you so very much for all the devotees who are here. Thank you. And who are just watching live on Facebook. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.